Hi friends, welcome to Abhi Tutorials. This is first part of the lesson Variables and Types. As part of this lesson, I will explain about variables, its types, and specifically in this part, I will be covering the numeric, string, boolean and list variable types. Let's now jump into the lesson. Variables are nothing but the name which you give to the memory location to store some value within the program. Variables are containers for the value you store within them. Values stored within the variables can be manipulated as you require within the program. Now let's see how to create a variable in Python. The syntax for creating a variable is as given here. To create a variable, you have to give a variable name followed by an equal to operator, and after that we will have a value. There are certain rules to be followed when creating a variable in Python. A variable name can contain only alphanumeric characters, which include the alphabetic characters from capital A to Z and small a to Z and numeric characters. Variable name can have an underscore character. Another rule is that a variable name cannot start with a number. It can start either with an alphabetic character or an underscore. Variable names are case sensitive. In the given example, first name, age and underscore count01 are valid names as they follow the variable naming rules. Whereas last name, 65 address and hash serial num are invalid variable names because last space name has a space between the words. 65 address starts with a number and hash serial num starts with a special character. Python is a dynamically typed language. In Python, you do not have to explicitly specify the data type of the variable. Python automatically takes care of the data types internally based on what value you pass to the variable, which is why you call Python as dynamically typed language. There is a built-in function in Python called type, which is used to find the type of the variable. We will look into how to use the same in the demo. There are different types in which variables are represented in Python. The first type is numeric variables, whose purpose is to store numbers. Numeric variables can store an integer number, for example, age equal to 35. It also can store floating point numbers such as numbers with decimal points and exponential numbers. Example, temperature equal to 95.4 and count equal to 3e30. E given here is a short form of exponent. Python also provisions you to create complex numbers with a real and an imaginary unit. In the given example for the complex type, 3 is the real part and 4 is the imaginary part. Python also supports string variables. String variables in Python are enclosed within either a double quote or a single quote as given in the example here. You can also have multi-line strings in Python. For that, you will have to enclose the string variables within either a triple double quote or a triple single quote. We also have boolean value support in Python. Boolean is a symbol type which will be either a true or false. Now let's jump into quick demo. Let's now see how to create a Python file using Notepad and run it directly from command prompt. Open command prompt and create a new folder anywhere in the system. I have created a folder in my G drive using the mkdir command, and I will jump into the folder using the cd command as displayed here. Type notepad space variables.py. Here variables.py is the name of the file I am going to create. Now press enter. Select yes in the dialog which prompts you whether to create a file. In the window which opens up, I have created 4 variables a, b, c and d and assigned an integer value of 10 to a. For the variable b, I have assigned a float value of 20.10. Similarly, I have assigned an exponent value to c, which will again get converted to float. The variable d has the value 5 plus 4j, which is called as complex type in Python, where 5 is the real part and 4j is imaginary unit. Now that we have discussed the variable initiation, we will see how to display the content of the variables and its corresponding types. To print the value of a variable, we will have to use the print function. To print the value of the variable a, you can type print open bracket a close bracket. Similarly, we will use the type function to get the type of the variable. To display the type in the console, we will have to use the type function with the print function as highlighted here. Similarly, we will print all the variable values and its type in the console. Once the code is all written, you can save the file. Now let's come back to the command prompt and run the file we have created. Type the command python space variables.py and press enter. As you can see, the values of the variables and the corresponding types are displayed in the console. Let's now see how to work with the string variable. Here, instead of creating a new Python file, we will directly work on the Python REPL, or which is called as Python interpreter. To access the Python interpreter, type the command python and press enter. If you get a prompt similar to what is displayed, then you are within the Python REPL. Let's create a variable named name and set the value as Abhi Tutorials, enclosed within double quotes. Let's now type print of name and press enter. You will be able to see the value displayed in the console. Let's now create another variable called greetings and set the value as welcome to, enclosed within single quotes. Press enter again and type print greetings. You should be able to see the welcome to displayed in the console. Now, if you want to join two string values in Python, you can use the plus symbol between two strings as highlighted here, and the operation is called string concatenation. Let's press enter and see how it works. As you can see, you will be able to see the variables greetings and the variable name are concatenated together to join the two strings as displayed here. If you need to access a specific index of a string, you can do so using the index numbers. Index numbers start from 0 and continues till the end of the string. If you want A, the first character of the name string, then type name open square bracket 0 and close the square bracket. If you need the second character, you can type name square bracket 1 and so on. Another interesting property is that strings indexing supports negative numbering as well, which starts from the end of the string and ends at the beginning of the string as highlighted here. If you need to get the last character of the string using the negative numbering, then use name square bracket -1. Similarly, you can get other characters based on the corresponding negative index numbers. If you need a range of values within a string, then you can use the colon operator. The colon operator will take two arguments, one before the colon which indicates the start index and one after the colon which indicates the last index. If you do not specify the first index, it will be considered as 0, and if you do not specify the last index, then it will be considered as the length of the string. In the examples given here, name of 0:4 will give you values from 0 till the 4 index, but not the value of 4th index, which is a space here. Similarly, name of :7 will give you characters from 0 till 7, but not the 7th value. Name of 5: will give you values from the 5th index till the end of the string. There is another function called len, which is used to get the length of the string. Don't get confused here with the index number and the length. The length is always one digit greater than the largest index number. Let's now see the other variable types. Python also has the capability to support multi-line strings. To create a multi-line string, you will have to enclose the string within either 3 double quotes or 3 single quotes. In the example given here, we have created a variable called a which holds a multi-line string enclosed in 3 double quotes. If we print the variable a, we will get the output as displayed here. Similarly, we can enclose a multi-line string within a single quotes as well as displayed. The result will be the same as we using a double quote. So far, we have enclosed a string within single and double quotes, but what if we need to print the double quote character itself? We naturally think that adding a double quote between other two double quotes will work, but it doesn't work like that in Python. To print the double quote, we need to insert a backward slash in front of the double quote to be printed. Such characters will escape the normal behavior of the character is called as escape characters. Let's see the example now. Here in this example, if I just print 3 double quotes and press enter, I will get an input prompt as displayed here, and then I have to press Ctrl+C to exit from the input prompt. Also, I do get a syntax error while exiting from the same. Here, as you can see in the highlighted area, I have inserted a backslash in front of the double quote, which gives me the expected result. The same behavior applies to single quote as well. There are other escape characters as well. If you need a new line in the string, then you will have to use the \n. For a tab, you can use \t. Backspace is \b, and \r stands for carriage return. The sample outputs for the escape characters in the previous slide are as given here. As you can see here, the /n creates a new line in the position where it is placed. /t has created a tab space in its location. /b acts as a backspace character, and /r moves the content after it to the starting position of the screen, replacing the original text. Let's now see some complex variable types in Python. The first type we are going to see is the list. A list is nothing but what you call as an array in other programming languages. A Python list is enclosed within a square bracket and will have a list of items of any type. Please note the word any here. In a Python, you can have a list that contains variables of type string, number, boolean, and other types enclosed together. In the example given here for the list, the variable mark have a list of numbers, the list fruit have a list of string, and finally the list A has a list of strings, number, and boolean combined together. Accessing the individual items of the list can be done using the index numbers. Index numbers start from 0 and continues till the end of the list. Example, if you need to access the first item of the variable A, you have to type a square bracket 0, which gives you the first item of the list A, that is hello. As we have already seen for the string, Python also supports negative indexing. The negative numbering starts from the last element with the index as -1 and ends with the first element. In our example, A square bracket -1 will give you the last element, which is the string world, and A square bracket -2 will give you the boolean value true. You can use the colon operator to slice a range of items from the list. For example, A of 0:2 will give the first two items, which are hello and 35. A of 1: will give you all the items starting from the first index. Similarly, A of 3 will give you all the items till the third index. We also have a function named len for the list element, which will provide the total number of items available in the list. Since there are 4 items in the list A, the function len of A will give you the output as 4. Mutable and immutable is a common terminology used in Python. In simple words, if a variable is mutable, then its value can be changed. If it is immutable, then its content cannot be modified. In Python, a list variable is mutable because the content of a list can be modified. Let's now see how to change the content of a list. In the example given here, we have a list variable named A. Currently, the value present in the first index is 35. Let's now change the value in the index 1 from 35 to the string welcome. To change the content, just type a square bracket 1 equals welcome as shown in the input here. Once done, the list is updated with the new value in the corresponding index. Python also has a set of functions that can be applied to a list. The first function is append, which is used to add an item to the end of the list. For example, if I need to add the number 723 to the end of the list A, then I will have to issue the command a.append of 723, which will add 723 to the end of the list. Similar to the append function, we also have the insert function, which inserts the new item at the specified index location. For example, if I call the insert function with the values 1, learn list, then the new string learn list will be added at the first index of the list. The other existing item will be pushed to the subsequent indexes. Given here is the list of other functions we have for the list variable type. The sort function is used to sort the list items. The reverse function reverses the list order. Count function is used to get the count of items in the list. Copy function is used to copy a list to another list. Then we have pop and remove functions. The pop functions remove an item and returns the removed item. The remove function takes the item value as a parameter and just removes the item from the list. Unlike the pop function, the remove function doesn't return any value. Finally, we have the clear function, which is used to remove all the items from the list. Let's see the list functions in action. Let's create a simple list A as displayed here. Let's now sort this list by issuing the sort function. Type A again. As you can see, the list items are sorted in alphabetical order, but the words with the capital letters are sorted first and small letters sorted next. If you need to sort the list irrespective of the case, then you will have to pass the attribute key equal to str.lower to the sort function as given here and press enter. Now type A and press enter. You will see the list now sorted alphabetically. Let's now see how to sort the list in reverse order. To sort the list in reverse order, add the additional attribute reverse equal to true to the sort function as displayed here and press enter. Type A and press enter. You will be able to see the list sorted in reverse alphabetical order. Let's now reverse the list by issuing the reverse function as given here. Let's now type A and see how it looks like. Type A and press enter. As you can see, the list is reversed now from its previous format. Let's see the copy function, which is used to copy the list to another list. You may ask a question here that why can't we use the equal to operator here? You cannot use the equal to operator since it copies the reference and not the value. So if you use the equal to operator without the copy function, the changes you make to the original variable will affect the reference variable and vice versa. So the preferred way to make a copy of the original variable is to use the copy function as highlighted here unless you need to maintain a reference to the original variable. Now type B and press enter. You will be able to see a copy of A stored in B. The next function we are going to see is the pop. Let's try to pop the value from the second index by typing a.pop of 2 and press enter. As you can see, the value from the second index is returned. Let's now check the content of the list A. Type A and press enter. As you can see, the popped item symbol is removed from the list. Now let's use the function remove to remove the item test from the list. The command is as displayed here. Unlike the pop function, the remove function doesn't return anything when enter is pressed. Let's now type A and see how it looks like. As you can see, the item test is removed from the list. Let's now use the append function to add an item to the end of the list. I am adding an additional string this to the list as displayed. Let's now check the value of A by typing A. You will be able to see the additional string added to the end of the list. Let's now try to count the total number of specific items within the list. We will use the count function to perform this activity. Type count function as highlighted here. Since there is only one is within the list, we got the count as 1. Finally, let's look into the clear function. Type a.clear as displayed here and press enter. Type A and press enter. As you can see, the list is now completely cleared and is now empty. That completes our first part in Python variables. Please wait for our next video in which we will be sharing more information on variables. Until then, take care and thank you. Thanks for watching our video. Please like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.